What is self-reflection? Well, obviously it is to think about yourself, but you can do that in many different ways. And it is surprising that we are capable of doing this. It's hard enough to think about the things in the world, to think about what other people do. It's very hard to think about practical things and think about them clearly. But it's quite another thing to really focus in on your own behavior, or to focus in on your own feelings and to reflect on those, or to focus in on your own reactions to other people, or much more still, to reflect on your thoughts and what they say about you, or how they are progressing, or how you can be more critical about those, or how you can improve on them. So there's so many different ways to be self-reflective. And as an existential therapist, you will need to learn to be very self-reflective, because there is no way you can teach other people to be self-reflective, to teach your clients to be self-reflective, unless you know how to do this. Now, of course, reflection starts when we stop just doing things, when we stop just talking about things, and we start listening, we start looking, we start responding to ourselves. So this is what we have to learn. We have to learn to pause all the time. I'm doing it now. I'm thinking, how am I coming across? Why am I saying what I'm saying? How am I saying it? Why am I saying it quite in this way? Am I sounding a bit too didactic right now? Is what is needed more of an emotional connection to you who's watching me? I am monitoring myself. I am asking myself what it is I'm doing, who it is I'm speaking to, and what it is I'm talking about in my own life, in my own experience that I want to convey to you. What it is about my experience about an existential therapist and an existential trainer that I want to help you get a hold of, so that you can apply my learning in your practice. And that's just the problem, isn't it? That is how we teach all the time. We tell people, this is what you do, this is what I have learned, this is what you can apply. When actually the secret is self-reflection. The secret is that you need to learn to experiment, observe, review, experience, think about your experience, see the consequences of your words and your actions on other people, especially on your clients, so that you can learn what happens when you do things. That is what learning from self-reflection is about. It is to experiment, not be afraid to get things wrong, because we learn from our mistakes. And that's not some empty statement to take the pressure off you. No, you have to make mistakes. You have to be willing to get it wrong. You have, when you work with your client, to be willing to see in what way you are affecting this person for the good and for the not so good, and to learn from that. You have to be willing to actually see the different ways in which your actions and your words affect other people. And then, of course, you have to be willing to make a change in that, to change according to what is most appropriate, what is most right for the other. And that will be different with every person. You can't get it right just like that, and you can't get it right once and for all. That whole process of self-reflection and reflection on action is to fine-tune things. It's a constant process of feedback. You don't do it, as in an analysis which you do once and for all, and that's the end of the story. No, it's a method, a way of life. You learn to be flexible, attuned, to let your intentionality have a feedback loop through which you adjust and you connect better and you are more active in your interaction with the other person. So learning to be self-reflective is magic. It is an absolute central, vital part of being an existential therapist. It is to learn to be alive in the best possible way that a human being can be alive, i.e. by using these prefrontal lobes and pass things through the mill all the time and get the feedback loop going and respond to that and adjust to that and find the other where they are and find how that affects you and how that affectation is important and why that links to the things that matter and the values that you hold dear. And then draw your conclusions and act accordingly and connect better, more intensely, more strongly, more really with the issues the other person is concerned with. So it's very difficult to do self-reflection in the abstract as I'm talking to you here right now, and we'll produce some other videos for you to look at how this works in action in the therapy session itself. But you can practice your self-reflection by keeping a diary. You can also practice your self-reflection by being in existential therapy. Existential therapy is to be with a mentor who can help you pay attention to what you've been doing this week, to how your work has affected you, how you have affected other people, and help you get more real about it, help you get more modest about it, more willing to learn, more willing to be aware. Your awareness is your tool. Your awareness is also your being. It is also who you become. And so your practice of existential therapy will sculpt your personality, your way of being in the world, and every time you reflect on how you have affected another and how another has affected you in return, every time you do that, your inner process becomes more refined and your ability of relatedness becomes more true, more active, more real, and therefore self-reflection is the key to being a good, true, and vitally alive existential therapist, reflecting on your past experience, on your current way of being, on your professional work, on your everyday life, on your relationships. All of this is a vital instrument in becoming a truly therapeutic, learning, evolving human being. And that is what you need to be to practice as an existential therapist. It is a lifelong challenge. It never gets any easier, because the better you get at it, the greater you are in your ability to be more challenged and more aware of your mistakes. So it is a lifelong commitment, a commitment well worth making. It will make you enjoy your work, enjoy being yourself, enjoy your profession, enjoy being what you are and who you are. It will probably improve your relationships greatly as well.